find the nuances in your diet that are putting you in a certain direction towards compulsiveness and craving and lethargy. And you cut that out and you replace it with the healthy things that are optimizing your hormones, you'll find a tremendous sense of power and well-being that's happening, remember, on a recurring, daily, habitual basis. And what does Tony say? When you change your habits, you change your destiny. Alright, so we just talked about the mental vampires that can be stealing away your energy of procrastination, stress, and worry, and anxiety. Now, what I want to do is talk about the physical habit, energy vampires. They're stealing away your potential, weakening your body, weakening your mind, and giving you a lot of pain in your body, taking away your potential. So for me, my biggest stress, physical vampire habits, that's a mouthful, were literally overeating and pornography. I would literally just have an extremely long day at work, come home from work, feel stressed out, a lot of pain in my body, and what would I do? I'd get Netflix going with either some anime or Game of Thrones, get a huge salad, get a lot of soup, even if it was healthy, and I would just eat and eat and eat for hours, literally. I could be eating for 2 hours straight, just watching Netflix. Dopamine. What is that doing to you? That dopamine is literally self-medication. You feel so stressed out in your body, you feel stressed out in your mind, that you're literally just medicating yourself with dopamine from all the food. Now, it's one thing if the food is healthy for you. I was eating salads and soup literally most of the time. It's another thing if it's unhealthy. So just think of all the lost energy that you're losing and wasting when you're eating pizza, when you're eating that burger, when you're eating that ice cream, when you're eating that comfort food, that fried chicken, when you're ordering that easy option. Think of all the wasted health that's going down the drain when you're eating all this unhealthy Popeye, the fast food, the McDonald's, you're going to Wendy's, you're going to Burger King, and you're overly stressed, and you're eating yourself into a food coma watching Netflix just because you're overworked. Think about how that's happening every day, and think about how much of an energy vampire that is on you. What I want you to do is think about how much that's hurting your body, your energy, how it's taking away your brain, it's taking away your productivity, because how do you feel, honestly, after you eat a pizza? Do you feel like following your hustle? Do you feel like going and building a business? Do you feel like reading a book? No, you don't. What do you feel like doing? You feel like watching more Game of Thrones. You feel like watching and scrolling more on Instagram and Facebook and watching more kitten videos and whatever the hell else you want to watch on the internet. And it leads to more and more bad habits, and the snowball just keeps on rolling. You're stressed out, you overeat, you procrastinate, you go to social media, dopamine. What are you doing? You're training yourself to procrastinate, and you're training yourself to self-medicate in non-productive ways. What you'll find is that if you actually know the secret, you can actually replace these harmful substitutions with healthy substitution habits that solve your problem, that feel great, that actually lead to higher productivity so that you can make more money, so that you can still keep on going out, so that you can have better energy, so that you can have better health, so that you can have higher testosterone levels. And so that you don't keep on going to these energy-sucking, potential-destroying graveyard habits, energy vampires. But what you need is the clarity of how to change the habit and replace it with a new one. Remember, you can't put new wine in old wineskins. You can't just eliminate a bad habit. You have to replace it with a new one. You know what analogy is actually better than that is when Jesus talked about how if you cast out a negative energy from a person, he called it a demon, but follow with me. When you cast out a negative energy from a person and you don't fill it with a good energy, then what happens? The person ends up going back to that negative energy, and they're actually worse off than when they started. So what you'll find is when you're looking to get rid of a bad habit, maybe it's an addiction, maybe it's overeating, maybe it's dopamine addiction to social media, maybe you're watching things on the internet that you know you probably shouldn't be watching, that's draining your energy and burning down your time. What you'll find is when you try to escape that bad habit, that addiction, but you don't replace it with something else, you'll always fail. I've seen this happen again and again and again. You always go back to watching that trash on the internet if you don't replace it with what you're going to do instead. So what you have to do is literally go through the process of learning new habit creation, of overcoming the old addiction with the replacement of a healthy substitute that's giving you everything you need that you were getting from that previous addiction. All right, so let me break this down. I was overeating and I was watching porn. If I could find a good habit that would replace what I was getting from the overeating and the pornography, then it really makes it a no-brainer. But what happens is people don't know anything that feels as good as overeating and watching trash on the internet, because it's such a stimulating hit that you get. It's like drugs. This is the same reason why people feel like it's hard for them to get away from drugs. It's so powerful. It's so addicting. It's so easy that to retrain your dopamine system, to retrain your brain, to retrain your subconscious mind and your beliefs so that you can get the same dopamine from healthier alternatives is going to take some effort. It's going to take a fight. Let's just be real. It's going to take a fight. And maybe you don't even know how to stop doing the negative. You don't know what to replace it with. And so you just never end. You just stay in this cycle of addiction and slavery and shame and guilt and lack of productivity, and you never escape. And it's been like this for years and years and years. And you feel your self-esteem lower. You feel all the energy wasted down the toilet. You feel all the pain in your body because of this deal with the devil that you've been making. And you have to get to the point where enough is enough, to where you see very crystal clear how much this has been stealing from you, stealing your health, your potential, stealing your social relationships, stealing your mental health, stealing your business opportunities, stealing your money, stealing your raw happiness, stealing your self-esteem. When you realize this and you have a moment where you say, enough is enough, I'm doing whatever it takes to overcome this, and you get your hands up like this and you're ready to fight, you're ready to do whatever it takes to take this thing down, to find the new true habit that will lead you to where you want to be, that's when you're on the right energy plane that you need to be in, the right winning mindset, the right attitude that you need to start taking action and replace it with a new one. You have to get the determination to figure this problem out. And that's what I did. I realized that the overeating, the pornography was ruining my life. I wasn't pursuing my dreams, and I said enough is enough. And so what I did was I started looking into the mechanics for years of what I could eat that would be healthier for my body. And I found that I was eating a couple key foods that was dragging down my energy, making me lethargic, making me procrastinate, and making me more horny and wanting to watch more pornography. So straight up being blunt, I found that if I took away a lot of the unhealthy meat products, and if I took away all of the wheat products, these are two huge secrets that can give you tremendous control over your physical health, your mind, your energy, and get you away from these bad habits. What you'll find is when you take away the wheat and a lot of the unhealthy meat products, your hormones change. It has to do with your gut flora. It has to do with the bacteria in your body. Wheat and unhealthy meat completely destroys the healthy bacteria balance in your body. And if you haven't heard, your gut flora is your second brain. So this impacts the energy level that you have, the focus level that you have, the emotional states that you have, if you have anxiety, if you have depression, or if you have positive emotion. It comes down to testosterone and oxytocin. If you want to maximize your testosterone and your oxytocin, you must pay attention to your diet. And my number 2 recommendations is always to cut out the unhealthy meat products from your diet and watch your brain come back to life. Watch your libido come back to life. Watch your energy come back online. Same thing with wheat. Take away the wheat And watch what happens after you eat a healthy meal of organic, non-pesticide, non-wheat products. You're gonna feel your energy and your creativity is back online. You're gonna be able to have self-control. You're not gonna be getting into the cravings as much. And so when you find the nuances in your diet, they're putting you in a certain direction towards compulsiveness and craving and lethargy. And you cut that out and you replace it with the healthy things that are optimizing your hormones, you'll find a tremendous sense of power and well-being that's happening, remember, on a recurring, daily, habitual basis. And what does Tony say? When you change your habits, you change your destiny. So identifying where you're messing yourself up with your diet and building a new habit is going to change your destiny. So get ready for a revolution. Get ready to feel like a new person. Get ready to have a new body and mind because you're changing your hormones. Now, let's wrap up by talking about pornography. This is a taboo topic for a lot of guys. A lot of guys don't even want to admit that it's a bad habit or an addiction. And listen, I get it. For the longest time, I didn't want to give it up. I was convincing myself and BSing myself, quite frankly, that it was good for me, that it was stress relief, it's not causing any problems for me. And so I stayed enslaved to it for months and months and months, and sometimes years at a time. And what I found was, when I had periods where I was not watching it, my brain was completely different. I was able to enter into states of flow, concentration. I was much more disciplined. I had more self-control. And not only that, but I had more creative ideas. And I had more positive emotion. I had more moments in the day and the week where I felt inspired. I felt drawn towards working in success for the sake of the joy of doing it and for the joy of how it's going to help people. So I found that I had more and more and more of that the less pornography I watched. And so I was able to finally admit back to myself and stop BSing myself that this bad habit was actually good. Wrong. So once you're at that point where you're ready to be real with yourself and you're ready to say, I want change, then this is for you. Once you're at that point, there's an opening, and you have to take this opening because this is a huge potential for you to reclaim so much of your energy, reclaim so much of your time, reclaim so much of your testosterone and your hormonal health. So use this clarity and use it to really ingrain into your subconscious that you're the kind of person who escapes addiction. You escape bad habits and you replace them with good. So you're at the point where you want to change. How do you stop? How do you stop when you have this urge to go watch that scene, that one scene? Maybe it's at night. Maybe you're about to go to sleep and you've trained yourself to watch this kind of garbage before you go to sleep. How do you stop? The first thing is getting clarity on your strategy, being realistic. So what I did was I would literally journal and write down potential ideas and alternative habits that I could do besides watching that garbage on my phone. I would write down all the particular areas and times where I was most likely to mess up and watch it, and I would write an action step, a strategy of what to do instead when that moment comes. So what you'll find is when you start writing down all of the particular critical points where you get the most tempted, and you clarify that, and you make a plan of what to do instead, that's when you'll find you're starting to make some progress. And every single time you execute the program and do the healthy substitution instead of watching the garbage, you'll feel some momentum, you'll feel a victory, you'll feel some motivation, some dopamine, some inspiration. So for me, I was the most tempted when I was alone on weeknights, and it would all start in my mind getting tempted. You hear the voices in your head, go watch it, watch this scene, and you'll hear all of the excuses of, oh, well, it's not really that bad for you. I'm not going to actually touch myself. I'm just going to watch it. BS. So recognizing that there's going to be this tempting voice in you that tries to get you to do it, is the first step of resisting the temptation and breaking the addiction. The next step is to really sell yourself on the alternative positive voice. So you have anticipation of the tempting voice, you know that's going to be there, you know all its tricks, and now you have to empower the voice of reason. So write down exactly what you're going to do. So for me, literally, it was to put my phone in a different room. So I literally could not do it. So not only did I know that the tempting voice is going to come, I literally made it harder for myself to engage in watching the garbage by taking a strategic plan that I planned out before and literally just putting my phone somewhere else. That's the beginning. That is the beginning. So for you, you might have different times where you're vulnerable and your action step may be slightly different. But do those two things. Write out where you're messing up and write out the alternate strategy of what you're going to do to beat the problem. And that's how you start taking the higher road. Now maybe it's not just putting your phone into a different room. Maybe it's saying, whenever I feel the impulse and the temptation, I'm going to go and do a 10-minute sprint session. Therefore, what are you doing? You're replacing that dopamine hit that you get from watching the porn with an alternative hormonal boost that you get from a 10-minute sprint session. This is literally what I did too. I would go out and run on the beach. I would boost my testosterone, my growth hormone, by doing sprints. I would boost my endorphins. And what I would literally do is give myself an alternative drug boost. And I would feel fantastic. I would feel absolutely fantastic whenever I did the alternative, healthy option, instead of going back to the pathetic, life-wasting option. Exercise is a fantastic way to replace any bad habit. And getting yourself to do it is the other thing. But let's say you're tempted multiple times a day. Are you going to go out and do 3 sprint sessions every day? Well, first of all, let me tell you, that would be better than watching porn. Believe me, it'd be better. But you can have multiple strategies. Another strategy could be set up an accountability partner for whenever you get tempted, you call them, you text them, you journal about them, and you get yourself out in public so that you physically can't do it. So getting accountability is the most important step in breaking a firmly ingrained addiction. If you don't get accountability on it, chances are 99% of the guys will fall back into it. They'll believe the seduction voice and they'll go back to it because you don't have accountability. So those are my 2 tips. Number 1, get clarity, write out your alternative strategy of how to get the same result from a healthy alternative. Number 2, just as important, if not more important, is to get accountability and every single day report to that person your progress, whether you watched it again, whether you did it again, whether you smoked again, or whether you stayed on your strategy. Okay? So you have your strategy, you have the healthy habits, make multiple of them. For example, exercising, socializing, you can go to the library and read, you can literally watch something positive on the internet, you can go out into nature. Get a list of 3 different things, at least 3 to 10 different things that you can do, and put it in your phone and walk around with it. Whenever you get tempted, take out that list and make yourself do one of those healthy alternative things. Retrain your brain to get motivation, healthy dopamine from taking positive action in your life. Resist the previous devil that is ruining your life. That's what it is. It's ruining your life. It's killing your potential. Resist it with a healthier alternative. Be strategic. Implement it with your accountability partner, and I guarantee you will see such amazing results in your life that you will have energy that you didn't even know that you had. You'll feel like you did when you were a teenager. You'll be exploding with energy because you're not wasting it on these negative habits that are stealing away everything that you want to do. All right, so I'm done here. We talked about the physical energy vampires. We talked about the mental energy vampires. We talked about how to get clarity and make a strategy so you can take back your self-control, take back your energy, take back your mental charisma, your mental focus. Start making more money, start fulfilling your dreams, and start creating the relationships and the life that you want with yourself and with other people so that you can live the life of your dreams. Great being here with you. I'm going to walk to the beach and enjoy this beautiful Florida Boynton Beach day. God bless you. Thanks for being here with me. I appreciate you very much. I love you very much. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so that we can stay in this relationship together where we can empower together with the most powerful biohacking mind medicine secrets and the most powerful psychotherapy self-help secrets to remove the stress from your mind, to transform your mind, to transform your identity and your subconscious, transform your body, your mind, and your core spirit so that you can fulfill everything that you want in life. Very good to be with you. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you next time.